series in the church on prophecy, and and as I was reading, getting ready for this morning, I was reading in 1st and 2nd Samuel, and I realized that Samuel, a prophet, had the Spirit of God on him, and so he saw things and proclaimed it to the people, and they didn't believe it. And so this time, as I was reading it, I went, "Oh my gosh!" He tells them what's going to happen, and here's this is 1st Samuel, the 8th chapter, and Samuel's the prophet, and as the prophet, he's the leader of the nation. And the people say this. Listen to what they say. God says to Samuel, "Warn them about having a king." And here's what happens. Samuel told the words of the Lord to the people who were asking him for a king. He said, "This is what the king who will reign over you will claim as his rights. He will take your sons and make them serve with chariots and horses, and they will run in front of his chariots. Some he will assign to be commanders of thousands and commanders of 50s, and others to plow his ground and reap his harvest, and others to make weapons of war and equipment for his chariots. He will take your daughters to be perfumers and cooks and bakers. He will take the best of your fields, vineyards, olive groves, and give them to his attendants. He will take a tenth of your grain and your vintage and give it to his officials and his attendants. Your male and female servants and the best of your cattle and donkeys, he will take them for his own use. He will take a tenth of your flocks, and you yourselves will become his slaves. And when that day comes, you will cry out for relief from the Lord." And I read that and I went, how in the world can they possibly hear that and still want a king? But they do. It's astounding. The human spirit, especially the fleshly part of us, is just so fragile, so needy. And here God says, listen, don't do this to yourselves. Don't give in to the temptation to simply satisfy your ego or your flesh. And they say, "No, we want a king so we can be like everybody else." And God says, "No, you don't want to do that." And so the word for today is, you don't really want to be like everybody else. You don't really want that. It's a temptation. Don't give in to it. You want to be exceptional. You want to be a man or a woman after God's own heart. So don't give in to the temptation to be like culture and like everyone else. Be like what God wants you to be, because there's great satisfaction and purpose in that. So you have a great day, and I'm glad you joined me today. God bless you.